I forgot to put it on loop. The cynical one, thank you so much for you just been really showing up, suiting up and showing out on supporting and coming through. Thank you so much. I forgot I am going live off of both channels. Good morning or afternoon, depending on what part of this country or world you're on. I am demetralitALLday. But here in my official capacity today as Judge D. Lit. Yes, I am self-proclaimed, self-appointed. Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, winter, my illustrious bailiff. Let me put a little bit of lip gloss on. Good morning, youngest. Welcome to the Lit Lane Jury Box. I am going live from Trial Watch with Demetra, as well as demetralitALLday. So I'm happy to say hello to the pit crew and to the Lit Lane jurors. Oh, you guys, today is our first official, now that it's been named, our first official freestyle docket show. Okay. And so y'all know last week I was saying, I wonder what I should call my content that I do over on my trial page during the daytime, because it changes, like from reactions to crime headline stories to trial reaction. Hey, Miss Steph 219, it changes up, right? And so I had said, I wonder what name I should use. And then yesterday I came up with Freestyle Docket. I like that. That way I'm not pigeonholed, okay? Because at nighttime, for night court, we know what we're doing. We know where we picking up at, where we left off at. You know, the daytime, y'all never know what y'all gonna get. Wait a minute, something is going on. Okay, hold on. Something is going on with my keyboard, and whatever it is has been going on for. It's been happening here and there, not consistently, but it's been occurring periodically, and now it's getting a little bit more frequent. So what I need to do is go ahead and buy me another keyboard. I need to buy me another keyboard. I don't know what's going on with this microphone. I have to do something about that. I got things I got to get. Demetra, did you see my message about the Michigan Horror House? Are you talking about that little skinny head man? What is his name? It's interesting. It might be old, but I'm just now seeing it. I think I even did. I know exactly what you're talking about. Hey, living. But I think I even did. I'm pretty sure I've done content on that before, because you know I've always done the true crime, mixed in, especially about the serial killers. You're talking about the guy who was getting the women, the drug addicts, and the prostitutes in the house, and they had them all buried under the yard, in the house, under the stairs, in the living room. They had bodies everywhere, and they thought it was the sausage company next door. I think that's who you're talking about. I can't remember his name right now, but I don't understand why a lot of people don't never talk about that doctor over on the East Coast. Which one you talking about? Okay. So let me look and see. Okay. Boop, there it is. Let me look at my comments. Hold on, let me see. Let's see. Oh. No, did you send me a link? Hold on, let me see. I'm looking at my comments now. Comments. And shout out to Avid Watcher. Avid Watcher don't drop down much, but they be in my comments on Try Watch with Demetra. Shout out to you. Now see a comment right here. Oh, I think I just saw. Wait a minute. I think I just saw when you say have you. Hold on, let me see. Let me go down a little bit. Hold on. Okay, youngest right there. Boom, right here. Have you seen the case of the Michigan household where the mom left from three? You seen it on court TV. No, but okay. So maybe tell me the name of it when you get a chance, youngest. I normally see my comments. Maybe tell me the name, and then no, I haven't seen that either. I be seeing y'all comments. Y'all know I be seeing the comments and reading them. Okay, so youngest, when you get a chance, you don't know how to do all that. Sorry, it was on court TV. Okay, so was it on court TV recently? I'll look. Hey, VA said, girl, you right on time. Hey, Tanya, Winter, did you leave me a link? Because you know the link comments don't come, and you don't be seeing your comments. Child. Let me see. Are you talking about Grizzly? Let me see. Oh Lord, today is the suggestion box. There. Okay. No problem, youngest. I'll look too. Hey, Renee. Winter. Just tell me right here. Or put it on the last members wall. I don't see it. Most of the time, if y'all ask me a question, I definitely answer the question. So if y'all don't see no answer to a question, yeah, y'all did right by telling me and calling me out on it today. I might have missed it, you know. Hey, Star Bell. Hey, y'all. So today on Freestyle, did I say hey, Renee, from Freestyle Docket on today, Thursday, we will be going back, right? We're going to be going back to Ellen Gillard, the lady, the senior citizen who they didn't sent to prison for a year at 70-some years old because she did what I call a mercy killing on her husband in that hospital. Okay. So we found out because we watched the sentencing phase, which turned out to be real interesting. You know, we didn't watch the trial. Well, she didn't have a trial. She made a plea. But we watched the sentencing phase, and during the sentencing phase, that's when we found out that she was really, people were saying that she told them that she was going to blow their brains out and that she was doing a little bit more than what she was leading us on to believe, wanted us to believe. Okay. I'm taking these pictures out my deal here. So we are going to go back and check out some of these nurses and cops and see how much of a terrorist Miss Ellen Gillard was truly being. Because she was coming across like she was all sweet as apple pie when we saw her portion. Okay? So this is fair usage. This should be interesting. Y'all just relax. It's Freestyle Docket, and we are going into it under fair use. Which I'm finna go make you a post on members so you can drop. I need to do that once a week. Put me a message post where y'all can just leave me a message. What's up, the Beef Sector Podcast? Y'all hit the like. All right, let's go. Live reaction, fair use.
You can proceed. Thank you. All right, good morning. Can you please introduce yourself to the court?
Hi, my name is Hector Aponte.
All right, and can you just spell your first and last name for the record?
First name is Hector. Last name is Aponte.
All right, and Mr. Aponte, what do you do for a living?
I'm a registered nurse.
All right. And back in 2023, where were you working?
I was working in Select Medical Hospital.
All right, and what was your role at Select Medical Hospital?
I was a bedside nurse.
All right, and what exactly are the duties of a bedside nurse?
The duties are to do hourly roundings, provide medications for the patient, cleaning, helping with nutrition and all that stuff.
All right, and where is the Select Specialty Hospital located?
It's located in the 11th floor in Avon Health Hospital.
Okay. And how many rooms are there, do you recall, in that section of the hospital?
In that section of the hospital, there's about, if I can remember correctly, like 30, 32.
All right, and what kind of patients come into your section of the hospital?
Most of the patients comes from the ICU. It's a step-down unit to relieve them from the
Hey, watching.
intubation and so on and so forth, so they can go to rehab.
And on January 21st, were you working that day? All right, and what were your responsibilities that day?
My responsibility were to take care of 5 patients that day. And one of the patients was Mrs. Seven's husband.
Jerry Gillard?
Yes.
All right. Now, that morning, did something draw your attention or a sound alert you?
Yes. When I was documenting my hourly roundings, I heard a huge bam or like somebody fell. And that alerted me. And I was very close to the room. So I entered the room. And when I entered the room, I saw that she was pointing a gun at me. And the patient had a pillow on his head.
Let me slow you down. So how far away from the room 1106 were you?
Not too far away because the computer was just across the room. So it was right there next to me, but I was outside of the room.
All right. And when you first heard that loud noise, did you think it was a gunshot?
At first I thought somebody fell because it was a huge bam, like a huge sound. It didn't sound to me like a gunshot. I just felt like somebody fell to the floor from the bed.
And when you walked into the room initially, what did you first do?
When I first get into the room, I put my gloves on and asked, like, do you need any help? What's going on? And then when I stopped close to the sink, I saw that the patient head was covered with a pillow. And when I realized Mrs. Allen was pointing a gun at me.
All right. Do you see the individual that was pointing a gun at you in the courtroom here today?
Yes.
All right. Can you please identify where she's located? Right there. Now, you're saying she pointed this gun at you. Can you describe the gun?
It's a black gun, small. That's all I can remember. I don't know much about guns. It seemed like a revolver, but it was just black.
And when you looked over at her and she had this gun pointed at you, first of all, was she making eye contact with you?
Good morning, Queen
She
Anne.
did.
All right. Was she pointing the gun? Where was the gun pointed in relation to your body?
It was very directly at me. I'm not sure which part, but I think like right here.
Now, did she say anything to you?
I
She
hear a
told me
nurse in
to
case
get
say what
out
part of
of
his
the
body.
room, like multiple times. And I was in a state of shock, so it took me a while to get out of the room. And when I came to, I just did what she told me to do. I got out of the room and I went to the nurse station. And I told my colleagues that she had a gun. There's a person with a gun. We have to call the code firearm.
All right. Now, from leaving the room, telling your coworkers that they need to call the code for an active shooter, where do you proceed to go?
So we all proceed to run, hide, or get out of the hospital. So we just run to the closest closed room, which is the medicine room, which is only by badge to get entered and coding.
All right. Now,
I
have you
found
been
it, winner.
previously taught about active shooter scenarios at the hospital?
Yes,
And were you following that protocol?
yes.
Taking you back
I'm
to the
subscribed
room,
to
though,
him. Thank
when
you.
she pointed that gun at you, how did you feel?
I'm terrified. Terrified completely. I thought that I was gonna die.
Did she make any threats towards you?
She just said that she didn't want to hurt me, but I just needed to get out of the room for her.
And when you exited the room and you went to this other room that you hid in, who was in that room with you?
In that room was
Good morning, Sergeant at Arms.
the secretary, 2 techs, 2 CNAs, and another nurse with me in that room.
When you guys got into this room that you described as kind of like this locked door, what did you do once you guys got in that room?
So by protocol, we have to, we needed to move the fridge that we had to the door. So that way nobody can enter the room if the person with the firearm gets a badge or the code to get into the room. So we just have to block all the entrances.
All right, now once you guys had sealed off that room, what did you do?
So in those specific rooms, we have like walkie-talkies, and we can contact the administrator from Advent Health and our boss as well.
Now, how were you reacting once you had gotten into that room?
So we're all in a state of shock, anxiety built up. I was crying.
Oh,
A bunch of anxiety went through my head.
How long, if you recall, were you sealed off in that room?
Whole 12 hours.
Now, since this incident occurred over at the hospital, do you still work there?
Damn, I didn't know she had the people hostage for 12 hours in that hospital. Damn. She really was a terrorist that day. No wonder they gave her prison.
Why not?
I got a new job in Miami. Basically because I earned more, but I just didn't want to do anything with my previous job either.
All right. Why didn't you want to do anything with your previous job?
Just with the circumstances that happened, I really didn't feel safe anymore, so I just needed to find other.
Oh, so he a quitter. Okay.
Now, what occurred back on January 21st, does that still play in your mind?
Yes. It does, mostly at night sometimes. I got nightmares. I do go to a psychologist, and she helps me out with it.
Now, having been through that ordeal, what would you like to see the court impose as a sentence in this case?
Guilty, and she needs to go to prison.
She already guilty. This is a sentencing hearing.
All right. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You can proceed, Mr. Ferris.
Good morning, Mr. Aponte.
Good morning.
Were you Mr. Gillen's nurse?
Yes, that day, yes.
Okay, but were we?
Oh, y'all. So for you guys who didn't know, because this wasn't they didn't have a trial. This lady pled guilty, or she pled no contest, right? So she got found guilty, and this is just her sentencing hearing when they determine how much time she gonna get. When she already got it, she got a year prison time, jail time, and then she got like 12 years or something like that probation. But either way, she was saying about her husband that was 77 years old in the hospital, that they was getting treated bad by the nurses and everything, right? So I'm really interested to see and curious to see if her attorney, this guy, gonna grill them about they mishandling of her and her husband, child. Let's see if it get messy.
Were you his nurse in prior days as well?
No, only that day.
Only that day. So you're not aware of his medical condition at all?
Well, yes, because we get report with every new nurse that comes every shift.
Okay. Are you aware that he had multiple organ failures?
Yes, I was aware.
Are you aware of the various ulcers that were on his back?
Yes, I was aware.
Okay. May I approach with this, John?
Yes.
Mr. Aponte, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification purposes as Defense Exhibit 1 for identification. Sorry.
I don't want to see no picture of his back.
Take a look at these photographs.
There go Miss Ellen, the terrorist.
Mr. Aponte, have you had a chance to review what's been marked by identification as Defense Exhibit A for identification?
Yes.
Are those photographs fair and accurate photographs of Mr. Gillard as you recognize him to be your patient at the time?
Yes.
We move into evidence as Defense Exhibit 1.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, that'll come in as defense 1.
Mr. Aponte, can you tell the court in your own words what those pictures reveal as it relates to Mr. Gillard?
So these pictures are bed ulcers that we also take care in the facility in Select Specialty. By viewing them, they were progressing.
Progressing meaning getting worse.
No, getting better in a way, slowly. Because I used to do wound care also.
Okay. So it's your testimony that Mr. Gillen's, the ulcers to his, that are on his back, right?
Mhm.
Right above his butt area.
Mhm.
It's your testimony he was getting better.
Yes, but slowly. The reason with wound care takes a process of time to heal the wound. When I do wound care in Select Specialty, I've seen the progress in wound care. But to be completely healed, it just take a lot.
He sound like he full of shit. Hey, foot soldier. I saw in another trial that I haven't watched with y'all. I saw this patient wound ulcers, and I almost threw up. That stuff be really, really bad. I don't know if they showing the pictures or what, but anyway. Let's see what Sister Girl got to say. Foot soldier, we looking at the witnesses on that hospital shooting.
Hi.
See how
Good
she
morning. Can you please
terrorized
introduce
the
yourself to the
nurses.
court?
And my name is Sharika D'Angelo.
All right. Can you spell your first and last name?
Sharika, ShiericA, D'Angelo, D'Angelo.
All right. And Ms. D'Angelo, where do you work?
I'm the secretary, so I'm at the nurse's station at all times.
At Select Specialty?
Select Specialty, yes.
All right. And how long have you held that position?
4 years now.
Now, your desk where you sit, where is it in location to room 1106?
It is literally like
Hey, T Lounge.
right across that a little bit, so I can see the room.
And
Make sure y'all check out the T Lounge. She just did a Angie Stone content piece. She posted it late last night. I shared it on my wall. If you go on my wall, it should be the posters on top. I will be watching that today on between my split shifts. I know that she did it some justice, and I cannot wait to see it. Check out T Lounge and her content piece on Angie Stone.
what are your normal hours of work back then?
It's always been 8 to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Now, did you become familiar with Miss Gilland during the treatment of her husband, Jerry Gilland?
Yes.
And is it common for you to become familiar with the patients and their families as they are being cared for by Select Specialty?
Yes, I'm usually like the first point everyone comes in. I'm like the communication between family members, nurses, doctors, everyone.
Now, how would you describe yours or your staff's interactions that they've had with Ms. Gilland?
As far as the staff's interactions with Ms. Gilland, I always heard complaints about she was never happy or satisfied with the care that was given to Mr. Gilland. And there were issues where she was arguing with the nurses that were trying to care for him. And there was an instance where she had, I believe, put her hands on one of the nurses, and she was told that if she did it again, she would be removed and wouldn't be able to visit her husband.
Okay. And is that information shared amongst staff so you're aware of potential security concerns?
Yes, it is.
Now, where were you positioned when you, as you heard, Mr. Aponte heard the loud bang and entered room 1106?
I was sitting at the desk, and it was a few of us at the desk, but I was sitting at the desk like I always do, and we heard a loud bang. We assumed that she had fell in the room or knocked something over. At the time, Hector was sitting outside of the room it's like a little desk right next to the room with his computer. And we looked at him and said, "Is she okay?" And he said, "I'll get up and go check." So he went into the room. He was in there for probably about five minutes. As he came out, his hands were up like this and he was walking backwards. And then he turned around and faced us and started walking towards us. And he looked like a ghost, like his face went white. He was very just out of it. And he came towards me and he said, he was just like shaking and stuff. And he sat down. It was like a little corner next to my area. And he sat in that corner and he just was like spaced out. And I said, "Hector, what's wrong? Are you okay? Is she okay?" And he said, "She has a gun." Because we did hear yelling when he went in the room. We heard her saying something like, "Get out," but we couldn't make it completely out. We heard her saying something like,
none of this sound right. This sound like she a liar. It sound like they putting 20 on 10. Number one, how would he be in that room for 5 whole minutes and she just shot the man and holding the gun and telling him to get out before she hurt him? Why would he be in there a whole 5 minutes? Do y'all know how long 5 minutes is? 5 minutes is a long time when you're just standing there waiting for 5 minutes to pass. Secondly, I'm just saying they putting 20 on 10 on this lady, okay? She did have a gun and everything, and she did shoot her husband in there, but still, he came out of there after being up in there for 5 minutes, and he didn't even say, "Oh, she got a gun," or "Everybody duck." He went and sat down and then said something. None of this shit sound right. I don't think they was taking good care of that woman's husband. Hey, Sincere. And I think the reason why they putting 20 on 10 is because they probably already all they take at them jobs and stuff is for one person or a couple of people that not like a patient. And then they get the gossiping and talking about the patient, or you know what I'm saying? And then everybody get an attitude except for maybe the one person that got some sense. You know, that mass mentality, that sheeple type of thing. Yeah.
Like, "Get out, get out." So when he came out looking
Lady
like
Steph
he
say,
looked,
"Yeah, but if
and
you've
then
never
he
been
sat
faced,"
in
hold
the
on.
corner.
Lady Steph say, "Yeah, but if you've never been faced with that situation before, sometimes you just don't know what to do. He could have been frozen in shock. I don't know." Well, yeah, that's true. But you're going to come out, you're going to be stuck frozen in shock for 5 minutes with your hands up in the air and they telling you to get the hell out? I think instinct would tell you to get the hell out and run. And the first thing you do when you come out of that situation and you in a whole public situation like that is go sit down in the corner somewhere and gather yourself. That's strange. I'm just saying, something don't feel right about these people. I think they was mistreating that man up in there and mistreating her because they felt like she was problematic.
We asked him what was going on, if he was okay, and it took him a minute. And
That's
he
just
said
me,
that
child.
She had a gun. He just kept saying that over and over and over. And then I was like, "Are you serious? Like a gun?" And he was like, "Yes." And everyone kind of was in a state of shock at that moment. Everyone that was at the nurse station, including myself, was in a state of shock. It took us a minute to realize what was going on and where we were at. And I proceeded to pick up the phone to call and put the code through that we needed security because there was an active shooter. Everyone took off running. They grabbed Hector, they ran.
Well, let me slow you down. So when you're calling out for an active shooter, who are you calling?
We call the code team for Event Health Hospital. We have to dial number 2222, and they put out a code throughout the hospital. At the time, I just told them there was an active shooter on the 11th floor in room 1106, and they proceeded to put out the code throughout the hospital.
All right. Did you stay on the line with them and provide any additional information?
No, I didn't. I was scared. I dropped the phone. I don't even know if they hung it up good, and I ran.
All right, and where did you run to?
I met the rest of my coworkers in the med room because it's the only door that's like locked. That's right there.
All right. Where is this med room in relation to where this desk was and where you were stationed?
It's literally right next to our nurses station. So there's our nourishment room, and then there's the med room that's literally right across from it. So we had to, I would have to leave the nurse station, go around and make a right, and then it's right there.
And did you enter the same room that Hector Ponte entered?
Yes, I did.
All right, and what did you do once you entered that room?
When I was in the room, I was just in shock because I couldn't believe this was actually happening. You don't think someone's gonna bring a gun into the hospital, you know. My coworkers were all screaming, crying. Hector was on the floor, balled up in the fetal position, and he was crying. I just didn't know what to do. At the time, I kept asking anyone, do you have a phone? Because I couldn't find we have a phone that's supposed to be in the bedroom. We couldn't find it. I left my phone at the nurse's station. So I didn't even have my cell phone. One of our coworkers did have a cell phone that was in the room with us, and she called our administration department. She called the DON first, which was Terry, and then they proceeded from there.
And how long were you kind of stuck in that room there?
We were probably in that room for maybe anywhere between 4 hours, 5 hours, somewhere like that.
And so medical staff are taught to do what when there's an active shooter?
We are told to first, if it's possible, to assess the patients and make sure that we close the doors so they're safe. But if we can't do that, then we are supposed to get ourselves to safety as quick as possible. At that point, I think it all went out the window because everyone heard it was a shooter in the building. I don't think anyone really checked on the patients. Everybody was just trying to run. A lot of our staff didn't even stay. They left the hospital because they were scared. Everyone was just confused. Everyone was shocked. No one did what we were taught to do. The most we did was just got to safety. Some of the doctors were even walking around and we were grabbing them and pushing them into rooms. It was just very chaotic that day. It was very traumatic that day to see people crying and balled up on the floor, hiding in rooms with patients because they're afraid. They don't know what the state of the family member was that committed the act. They don't know what the state was. They didn't know if she was just going to stay in the room or come out and start shooting because of the fact that there was, issues prior with other nurses that she was not happy with care. So they didn't know if it was going to end there in the room or she was going to come out and, start shooting other people. No one knew. So everyone was very, very scared.
All right, and Mr. Aponte said there's quite a few patients, or at least on that floor, that there's at least 30 so rooms on that floor.
There's actually 34 patients on our floor.
All right, and are you usually full?
Most of the time, yes. We try to stay full house.
All right, back on January 21st, were you almost at capacity or at capacity?
I believe we were at capacity. I believe we were full.
All right. And so for those hours that you all are and medical staff are hiding, all those patients are going without care.
Exactly.
And that's all the action from Ms. Gillard here today.
Yes.
All right. Nothing further.
All right, thank you.
Wow, that blows me. So you mean to tell me if something happened up in there, they just leave the patients at their own risk? They don't send in no battalion. They don't send in no police officer, nothing to go and roll the people out the rooms, the other rooms. Damn. Wow.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The gun is what
Ms.
did it.
Gillard, I think you indicated, had made prior complaints to hospital staff regarding the level of care her late husband was receiving.
That's correct.
Okay. And she was not pleased as relates to the amount of care that he was receiving at the hospital,
That is correct.
and she was not pleased as it relates to his level of pain, right, in the
That is
hospital.
correct.
And she constantly requested, I guess, additional medical
Medicine.
care for him,
Mhm.
right, to alleviate that pain.
Exactly, correct.
And it's fair to say that Mr. Gillen's medical condition caused a lot of stress and anxiety to Miss Gillen, right?
That is correct.
Because she loved and cared for him very much, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Were there any attempts made to request for Miss Gillen and Mr. Gillen to be removed from the hospital? You said, you testified previously that there was even like physical altercations, I think you mentioned, between Miss Gillen and others. Were there any attempts as a result of those complaints or that physical altercation to ask the Gillens, hey, y'all need to go home?
No, there were not.
Okay. And that's because they had good insurance, right?
I cannot answer that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No, read right, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You can step down.
Thank you.
Who's the state's next witness?
Yes, Your Honor, the state called Dr.
What was that Denzel Washington movie where they had him and he was holding a hostage in the hospital? Remember? Because his son had cancer or something like that, and they wasn't doing something he's supposed to do. Oh Lord, what's wrong with his hair?
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. Solemnly. Please, what's your status?
All right, good morning. Can you please introduce yourself to the courtroom?
I'm Dr. Ravi Nagarajan.
Yeah, John.
I'm the medical doctor, was involved in her care, but most of the care was divided by my associate. But I was there on the day the incident happened.
All right. Now, can you first spell your first and last name for the record?
Ravi. Last name is Nagarajan, Nagarajan.
Now, Dr. Nagarajan. All right. Now, you worked at Select Specialty?
Correct.
All right. Now, how long have you been a medical doctor?
30 years.
I'm sorry?
More than 30 years.
Okay. And how long have you worked for Select Specialty?
About 10 years.
Now, what is the role of Select Specialty?
Select Specialty is defined as a long-term acute care hospital where patients with severe medical conditions are admitted when they are requiring longer than the regular care that can be provided in the acute care hospitals.
Now, when individuals like Jerry Gilland are brought in, is there a goal to kind of get them moved down to lower levels of care?
Yes, all the time.
And so when Jerry Gilland arrived into your group on January 1st, there's goals set out to set him down and kind of move him to a lower level of care.
Yeah, we make every attempt to make them stable to be able to move to a lower level of care, yes.
Now, have you had an opportunity to review the medical records in this case?
Yes, briefly, yes.
Okay. Now, when Mr. Gilland first arrived on January 1st, and for the first few days that he was in your care or within the care of your team, was he having problems sleeping at night and things of that nature?
Yes, I was told that the patient had trouble sleeping at night and also was quite anxious during the daytime.
And when somebody is disoriented and having those issues, they come in, they're not sleeping and of that nature, does that cause them to have somewhat impaired mental capacities?
Yes.
All right. When people are sleep deprived, such as Mr. Gilland when he first came in and until his medications were set right, does that cause them to have, poor thinking and poor choices?
Yes.
Now, within that early time frame, around January 4th and 5th, was there a claim that he wanted to commit suicide?
I'm not aware of that because I was not directly seeing him. associate, Dr. Shansky, was on the regular care. I was only seeing him on days that Dr. Shansky was off.
Okay. Now, reviewing those medical records that were provided to you, do you recall that the other doctors had notated that he had a suicidal ideation back on the?
And not that I can see.
Now, did you have an opportunity to look at those notes and see that when somebody all right, let me start this. When somebody has suicidal ideations in the hospital, how is it handled by Select Specialty?
Well, I'm not aware of the protocols that they use. If somebody has suicidal ideation, usually we tend to focus on finding out whether they have a definite plan, or do they have access to any weapon, and do they have an ability to commit the act. So those are the things that usually we focus on.
Now, did there come a point in time that, if you can recall from the review of the medical records, that Mr. Gillard was no longer suicidal?
I'm not aware of that.
Give me one moment.
Don't forget, we will be watching the Zaya Harris, the little girl that was essayed by her uncle-in-law for years, became impregnated, then came up missing, presumed to be dead. That trial should be starting very, very soon. We covered the preliminary hearing, and we will be covering the trial. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you tune in. Hey, Muffy. Now, I heard that the trial starts tomorrow. I'm looking and I don't see it, but whenever it starts, we will be here, gavel to gavel. Okay, wait a minute. It's not an actual trial watch here. Okay. Okay, youngest, thank you. This is not a trial watch, so we skip it to the best parts. This is who I wanted to see, y'all.
Please step forward, raise your right hand.
Oh, Lord.
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mom.
Now, why this big old man didn't tackle that lady?
Please watch this.
Good morning.
Morning.
Can you please introduce yourself to the courtroom?
Corey Jackson,
All right, and can you just spell your first and last name?
Cory, last name Jackson.
All right, and Mr. Jackson, where are you employed?
Advent Health.
All right, and in what capacity?
I'm the security manager.
All right, now back in January 21st of 2023, what was your role at Advent Health?
Senior officer of security.
Now, what are the role of security officers at Advent Health Hospital?
My job is to make sure everyone will come on the property
Yeah, right.
is safe and just do my job, you know.
Oh,
All
Lord.
right, back in 2023, were there metal detectors?
No, sir.
Now, as a security guard, what are you issued as far as part of your uniform?
At that time, we was armed with a baton and a taser.
No firearm?
No firearm.
Now, on January 21st, 2023, were you working?
Yes, sir.
Now, at around 12 that day, was there a call out for an active shooter at Advent Health?
Yes, sir.
What is your responsibility when a call for an active shooter comes out at Advent Health?
All right, so we received a phone call from the 11th floor in reference to someone having a weapon. Once me and another one of my officers arrived to the floor, I made contact with the room. I knocked on the door, identified myself as security officer Corey. I'm coming in.
Thank you for the cash app.
I noticed Ms. Gillard there with a firearm pointed at the door. At that time, I stepped back. She advised to get the F out of here. She'll blow my effing brains out. I stepped back, closed the
Oh,
door.
wow, Miss
The
Ellie.
other officer was getting ready to come in. I grabbed him by the collar, pulled him back. At that time, we got on the radio and notified the nurse supervisor. I got on the PD radio, notified law enforcement that I needed assistance with what was going on at the hospital.
So let me slow you down. So when you get up to the 11th floor, you head over to select specialty.
Yes,
All right, and that's contained within Advent Health Hospital.
yes,
Now, you get up there, the door to 1106 closed.
yes.
All right, now you were told it was a weapon. Did you know it was a firearm at that point in time when you got up?
Yes, they just called us and told us that they saw someone with a weapon. Did not tell me that they heard a shot or anything like that. Yes.
So you still, not knowing what the danger was, you went up there and
Yes, sir. That's my job.
so you get up to this doorway and you open up the door.
Yes, sir.
Do you open it up fully?
Yes.
All right, so when you open up the door fully, where is Miss Gilland in relation to the room, in the room?
She was on the other side of her husband, facing the doorway. Like, so her back was to the window, and she was facing the door.
And what did she have in her hands?
A revolver, black. I want to say it was a revolver. I just saw a black gun pointed at me.
Now, how far into the room were you when you saw this black gun pointed at you?
I just got right in the door frame. You know.
All right. And when you entered, you said she made threats to you?
Yes.
I know you kind of politely kind of abbreviated what she said, but did she use the full word?
Yes.
All right, what exact words? I know we're taught to be polite, but what exactly did she specifically say to you?
She told me to blow my fucking brains out.
While the gun was pointed at you?
Yes.
That is not funny, Demetri.
What was going through your mind as you have a gun pointed at you and someone's telling you they're gonna fucking blow your brains out?
Oh my.
I mean, usually outside of Advent Health, I have a CCW, so I'm always armed. My reaction was to go to my side, but of course I didn't. So I just stepped back and, like I said, I jumped on the radio and notified the authorities.
All right, and who was the second security guard with you?
Joseph.
All right, and as you described, he tried to go into the room as well?
Yes, he was coming behind me. We always responding to, so he was coming behind me. I grabbed him up by his collar, yanked him back. And then, like I said, I had him clearing the floor as we was on the radio.
He just big for no
notifying
damn
staff
reason.
And law enforcement.
Now, how many times did she make that threat to you that she was going to kill you?
I was just gave one time. After that, I just closed the door.
Now, once you closed that door, where did you stand?
On the side, just to make sure I didn't know if it was a threat going to come out of there or anything like that. So I just drew my taser at that time and just stood there until law enforcement arrived.
All right, so without a firearm, armed basically only with a taser, as you described, you stayed outside that door
Yes, sir.
to protect the patients and the employees of Advent Health and Select Specialty?
Yes, sir.
How long did you stay out there, essentially unarmed, with somebody with a gun in that room?
It didn't take law enforcement a long time to get there. I stated once they got there, I was able to assist moving the patients next to the room, up the floors and under, to make sure that no one else was going to be in danger.
All right, so explain.
Oh, good.
why
They
are you
moved-
moving
they moved a
patients
couple
to the left,
people.
to the right, up and down?
I mean, I don't know a bullet can go anywhere. So I don't know what's the intention is. I don't know what law enforcement is going to do at that time, what they was going to have to do to be able to access y'all lady to come out. So before they say to start
Okay.
pulling them out, taking them to other floors for they can still receive treatment.
All right, now, the patients that you're taking out, are they in kind of a critical care unit?
Yes, that floor is, yes.
All right, can you describe to the courtroom exactly what it was like taking these patients from the left, the right, up and down?
Well, like I said, the beds was really big, so trying to get them through the frame, I actually was pumping at one time to get the people out. So like I said, you can only get through. So I went to pump in the best way I can until we was able to get them out, and then the staff took over from there.
All right, let me slow that down. When you say you're pumping, are these people were originally on ventilators?
Yes, like I said, I had a little bag and I was just pumping air to them.
Okay, so their only source of oxygen at this point in time is you pumping it into their lungs.
Yes, sir.
Because you had to disconnect them from a ventilator.
Yes, sir.
How were the patients reacting to this?
The one that I was pumping, it gave me one of them, like they said, I don't know if I was going fast enough or what. Like I said, that's not my forte, but I was doing what I can to make sure that I got them out fast enough for the staff that's their job to do what they needed to do.
All right, but you saw a patient you're helping move struggling to breathe.
Yes, sir.
Now, once law enforcement responds, what is your role to transition to?
Like I said, just to continue making sure that I can assist them in any type of way, but making sure that the staff is where they need to be and so forth.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Questions for Mr. Jackson?
One moment.
Morning.
You said when you first entered the room, was Miss Gill, was she standing up or sitting down?
She was sitting down.
Okay, and was the firearm already pointed towards?
Everybody's just
the
sitting
door
over there
area?
wanting to laugh.
I think you said the first thing that she said she was, get the F out.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I think your testimony was that you provided some medical care to some of the other patients on the floor?
Okay.
No, was that what you testified to a minute ago?
Pumping air into them? Yes.
Lord,
I'm sorry,
have mercy.
Yes.
Okay. Prior to today, have you told anyone previously that was what you did, that you had to provide medical care to any of the patients?
I told them that the day of.
Okay. Nothing further, Judge. Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
I just want to be
You
clear.
could have stayed
She
sitting
didn't tell
down
you
with
that
all
to
that.
leave the room. Did she?
No, sir.
What did she tell you?
She'll blow my fucking brains out.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right,
Let me
thank you.
stop
You may step
laughing.
down, sir.
Can y'all imagine that little lady saying, I'll blow your fucking brains out?
Okay, we've been going almost an hour and a half, so we'll be in recess for 10 minutes and we'll be back.
All rise. We are recessed.
This is one time they should have had a camera in the damn room. Lady Steph say she take her verdict back, give her life. Hold on, y'all. Uh-oh. Here go the SWAT video, y'all. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Lord, if they went up in that, if they went in that hospital like how we finna see, I bet she got scared to death. I'm glad she just didn't start shooting everybody. She caused all this drama for 12 hours in that hospital. Damn, she was really cutting up. Little old lady had a gun. She knew how to shoot no matter how old. Child, look how they came in on her. Now, this is scary. Hold on. Live reaction, y'all. We're not as formal today. This freestyle docket, child. Freestyle docket. Hold on. Damn. Yes, she was. She was tired of these folks.
This is windows back next to the road. You don't want crossfire and shrapnel. I'll give it a push. Come on. Don't worry about it. Ready? Police department. Police department. Show your hands. I want to see everybody. Show your hands. Yep. Get back. Guns in. Right towards us. I got guns right towards us. Drop the gun! Drop the gun right now! Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
I'm surprised she didn't have a heart attack.
Okay. You got the eyes? I can't see. She's sitting right behind the bear. It's a black revolver. And a visitor. Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Just drop it! Just put it on the ground and slide it away from you! Drop the gun! No. I got you. You can't open the outside. Here. Yeah. You want to practice open with this? Can you open it from the outside? Drop the gun! Watch out. We got time. Back up. We got time. We got nothing but time, guys. Can we evacuate some patients from the adjoining rooms? Can we do that or no? Drop the gun, man! I got a good angle right here. Drop the gun!
Why is she not dropping this
Drop
gun?
the gun! Man, hold on. You got go down. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's. I don't want to hurt you. We don't want to hurt you. Tell me what's going on. Just talk to me. Talk to me. What's going on? Why can't you drop the gun? Why can't you drop the gun? I'm listening. I'm talking to you. I'm here. Let us help you. We don't want to hurt you. We're scared too.
Y'all look scared.
Reach your mind. Reach your mind. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so did you do it? Okay, you shot your husband, ma'am? Did you shoot your husband? Okay. Do you want to hurt yourself? Ma'am, we don't want you to do that. Can you please let us help you? We can work our way out of this, okay? Ma'am, we're not going to hurt you. No, ma'am. How old are you? How are you, ma'am? Okay. You have kids and grandkids? You have kids or grandkids? Okay. Do you have any family in there? Okay. What's your name? I'm asking you.
Not the nurses will know.
Hey, man. My name's Bob.
Okay. I just want you to know. Listen. I had a good angle here, so just don't go in front of the police.
Things aren't as bad as they seem. Okay, want to talk up a little bit?
You got eyes for me?
Is it easier if I talk up some more?
It's pointed right towards us. It's a black revolver pointed right towards us. I got you.
It's American. No, I have not called him. Hey, listen, man. I understand that what's going on right now is a lot to process. It almost seems overwhelming, but we can talk, okay? From here forward, it's just talking. That's all. Nobody's here to hurt you. All right? Absolutely not, ma'am. I promise you. No, put your hands in. Man. I'm a supervisor, man.
In case y'all can't hear, when they say they don't want to hurt her, she say, yes, y'all will hurt me. I'm handicapped. And if y'all put my hands behind my back, y'all might break something. She worried about her osteoporosis.
I won't let that happen. Yeah.
You think so, foot soldier?
I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what was going on and why he wasn't getting any better. But I can assure you on what happens from here forward. We're not going to cuff you behind the back and throw you in a car or anything like that. I promise you.
Just point right at us. It's a black revolver.
Are we going to talk to you about the incident? Yeah. Yes. But that's the taking you to jail right now.
I looked dead at it.
I said, we're going to talk about the incident? Absolutely. But nothing says we're going to take you to jail right now. No. We got to find out what's happening
It's
first.
a black revolver. Right directly at us.
Guys.
Clear out both sides.
How'd you get here today, ma'am? Did you drive? Okay. What's your first name so I can address you properly? Or your last name? I can go with either one. Ellen? Can I call you Ellen? Okay. My name's Bob, like I said, so if you have any questions, you want to talk, I'm not responding, you just call my name out, all right? How old are you, Ellen? Okay. You're the same age as my mom. I heard you telling them earlier you don't have any family here or anything? I heard you telling them earlier you have no family or anything? Okay. Is there any way you can put the gun down just to talk to me? We're not coming in. Just put the gun down just to talk to me? Well, we don't want to see that happen, man. We care. We wouldn't be here if we didn't. But I do know a little bit about you now. When I signed up to do this, man, I signed up knowing there's going to be people that I can help that I've never met before, and I'll probably never see again. And it's about helping people. That's what this is about. I don't care what the news shows you. We get in this job, this line of work, to help people. And that's why we're all here. Okay? What are you contemplating hurting yourself for? Why? I understand that. There's nothing like family. I totally get that. You wouldn't want to see you hurt yourself. Nor do we. Nobody wants that.
Stop it there. Now,
No, don't stop it. It was interesting.
Sergeant, when you first entered the room, can you describe to
Oh
the
man,
courtroom
that
what you
was
saw?
interesting.
When I first entered the room, I saw the bed, the man laying there, and then saw Mrs. Gillard on the other side holding a black revolver right towards me.
All right, when you say right towards you, was she pointing the barrel towards you?
Yes, the barrel was right towards me. Yes.
And is that why you kind of we see you backing out of the room on the body cam footage?
Correct.
Now, why didn't you engage her in a firefight essentially at that point in time?
Because initially when I first started, when I had 11 floors to go up, I was thinking it's a hospital, it's got a lot of oxygen tanks and everything in there could possibly explode. So the last thing that I wanted to do was shoot inside of the hospital. So once I went in there, I saw her, we had nothing but time, so I just backed up and hopefully we could talk her out of doing anything that she wanted to do.
Okay. And did you maintain that position kind of outside the room and with other officers until SWAT arrived?
Yes.
And then once SWAT arrived, you were kind of relieved and moved on?
Yes.
All right. No further questions, Your Honor.
Yeah, good morning.
Or
When you arrived to the hospital, you were aware that Miss Gilland was in that room?
at the time, it wasn't Miss Gillard, but was aware that someone with a gun was inside that room.
Okay. I guess that's my question. So when you arrived at the hospital, you were aware there was an allegation that someone in that room had a firearm?
Correct.
Okay. And is that why you had the riot shield or the attack shield?
Yes.
Okay. Are those designed to, prevent entry of a handgun or or a gunshot?
Relatively, yes.
Okay. Ms. Gillen, when she was speaking with the officer, she was polite, would you say?
For the most part.
Right, she didn't raise her voice or anything at you or at the other officer?
No.
Okay. And you weren't, when SWAT arrived, I think you were asked, you were kind of relieved of your spot.
Polite as you could be while you aiming a gun and telling me you're gonna fuck them up.
And when you arrived at the hospital, I heard on the body camera, somebody said something about a murder-suicide. Was that your understanding, what you were responding to?
No, what I was responding was just active shooting. Sergeant Ransom had said it was possibly going to be murder-suicide, just off of history and experience, but we were responding to an active shooting.
Okay. Okay, nothing. Thank you.
Sergeant, is there anything polite about somebody pointing a gun at you?
No, not at all.
All right. Did you take that as a kind gesture?
No, I did not.
All right. When you saw that gun pointed at you, did you have concerns for your safety and well-being?
Yes, I did.
All right. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you, Sergeant. You can sit down.
And Your Honor, the state's last witness will be Sergeant James Marr.
The board, raise your right hand and please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Follow me. Please switch your steps.
All right. Good morning. Can you please introduce yourself to the courtroom?
I'm James Marr, M-A-H-E-R.
And Sergeant Marr, where are you employed?
That's what she wanted to know.
All right. And
At
how
that
long have you
point.
been with the Daytona Beach Police Department?
Since 2009.
Back in 2023, specifically January 21st, what was your role with the Daytona Beach Police Department?
At the time, I was the sergeant for the crime suppression team or violent criminal apprehension team. I'm not sure which one, and team leader for the SWAT entry team.
All right. So let's talk about what is a team leader for a SWAT entry team?
So most people think of SWAT, they think of just one team. It is a big team, but there's multiple teams inside of a SWAT team. So you have an entry team that does the actual entering of a structure or a room like this. You have a breacher team to get us through doors, sniper teams. There's different teams. For the entry purpose, I was a team leader.
Now, as a SWAT team leader, who decides how to make entry into a room?
It really depends on the situation. In a situation with this, it's dynamic. I'm sure they had a plan before I showed up. When I showed up, I assessed the situation, developed a plan, send that plan to my commander, make sure he's aware of what I was thinking, any changes he might want to make, and then we execute the plan.
Now, when you got this call out, where were you?
I believe I was home.
Okay. So even when you're not working, you're still working when you're in SWAT?
Correct.
And when you responded to the hospital, do you recall around what time you responded to the hospital?
Daytime is all I can say. I don't know what time of day it was.
Now, when you respond to the hospital, how is the hospital kind of secured at this point? Or what is done to secure the hospital?
The hospital is on a lockdown by the time I get there. There's police vehicles everywhere, emergency vehicles everywhere. It came out as an active shooter as testified earlier, so that's going to get a large response. Obviously, I'm going to go through the perimeters. I made my way to the 11th floor.
Now, when you say the hospital is on lockdown, does that mean nobody can come in and nobody can leave at this point in time?
Yes.
All right. And that lockdown, does that lockdown stay in place for several hours?
Can I correct that last one? I'm not sure if at some point somebody could leave if they had to. Like if we can clear somebody to get out, well, we're not going to hold them in a dangerous situation.
But as far as anyone coming in, they couldn't come in.
Correct. We don't want any additional victims and or threats coming in behind us.
All right. So if someone's wife is in labor in this hospital right now and their husband was on their way, they can't get into the hospital.
If we're on lockdown, no.
And so that hospital was placed on lockdown for several hours. Would that be accurate?
That's correct.
So once you get up to the 11th floor, who's up there with you?
There was a lot of people up there. The hallway was extremely crowded. That was one of my first issues I had, was getting certain people, certain patrol officers, security guards, whoever may be back away from the threat. My second thought is obviously secondary victims, people in rooms next door. Sergeant over there brought up a great point. There's oxygen that runs through the walls. They're working on trying to get that oxygen shut down for any secondary explosions.
All right, so let's talk about that. So the oxygen issue in the hospital, what risk does that pose to you for your operators?
I mean, it's a huge threat. If oxygen is highly flammable, some of the devices we use are small, I guess you could describe as explosions. Bullets entering an oxygen line, I wouldn't want to figure out what happens.
So those are all major safety concerns for you.
Correct.
And as you described, you get up to this floor, the 11th floor, and you start clearing out kind of the uniform patrol and let the SWAT team kind of take position in there.
That's the goal.
Now, did some of the members of the SWAT team have body-worn cameras?
They did.
All right. Now, in preparation for this hearing, did you review the body-worn cameras in this case?
I did.
Well, Your Honor, state's going to ask what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit B be entered into evidence at this time.
No objection.
Okay, that will come in. Space number 2.
And permission to publish, Your Honor?
Yes.
Y'all think that's a microphone they holding up there or a camera to see up in there? It's so interesting. You barely get to see all this for real, for real. I want to hear more of the negotiator myself. A camera. That's what I was thinking. At first I thought it was a microphone, but that didn't make sense. Damn, Miss Ellen.
Yeah, you can get the paper.
No, I've got some.
Well, she get to writing a suicide note. Her hand's not gonna be on no gun for damn sure.
Down and document it. So starting the very beginning, she should put I and try.
Drop the fucking gun!
I wasn't ready.
Back up! Drop the fucking gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Do it now! Give me Leslie. Back up! Get out of the fucking door!
Oh my God.
Drop the gun! Do it now! Drop the gun! Good job! Hands up! Hands up! Taser!
Oh my God. Baby, that scared the shit out of me just now. I wasn't ready. And then she's still up in there holding that damn gun. They need to run her goddamn. Oh my God, Jill. Jill dropped down with the whammy. See, I told y'all they need to lock her ass up. I think she is a gangster. They need to run her DNA against any violent crimes from 1970 something. That lady was still up in there holding that damn gun after all that shit. I damn near dropped my cup of coffee. Oh Lord, Miss Ellen. Oh Lord. Hey, Tracy. Oh. That just scared the shit out of me. I knew they were about to do something. I think they was telling her to write the note or whatever type of note. Remember they were saying about get the paper? So I knew they was getting prepared because I said it. I say, well, if she writing a note, her hands gonna be off the gun. Oh, I wasn't the only one that started. Then they talk about drop the fucking gun, drop the fucking gun. Oh my God. Baby, SWAT don't give a damn if you 1,500,000 years old in the wheelchair. They come in. What you gonna do when they come for you? Oh my God. Y'all, we might have to watch more videos like this with like the SWAT team and stuff like that because it's kind of exciting and scary and anticipatory. Is that a word? Okay. Anticipatory. Yeah, she a tough old bird. Speaking of tough old birds, baby, when my son, he got some, when we would make groceries, he had wanted to get some chicken breast, right? I don't really eat that. I think chicken breast is white meat. I damn sure don't never buy it. I never cook it. And I didn't think I ate it. Why? He cut that chicken breast up like in like some like supposed to be in like chicken tender size or whatever. He seasoned it up and did it in a skillet or something on the stove. That chicken breast was so damn good. I was like, oh my God, son. Okay. And I keep telling him that he need to get a recipe for some stuffed chicken breast. I wonder, I'm trying to turn him into a little chef. We got to eat good around here, okay? And I'm finna take down my Instapot because I think he can really fuck it up with an Instapot around here, okay? Anywho, so did she do the first shot? No, she didn't shoot no first shot. She shot her husband. But at this point in time, they trying to get her ass out of there. Yeah, it can be very good if you do not overcook it. You have to catch it at the right time. Otherwise, it'll be dry. Right, and it wasn't dry. It was really good. Really good. I think they might have a couple of pieces left. I'm going to eat it.
Angle.
I don't normally eat it either.
Very difficult.
Now let's see if they keep their promise and don't handcuff up behind her back for her osteoporosis. Drop the fucking gun. Oh wait, this from a different angle, y'all. She said, hey, I'm crippled. Oh, man. Poor Jared just laying there dead.
I'm going to switch back to the first video, and I'm going to have you explain some things to the courtroom.
They did a flash bomb, lady self. They told me yesterday, the day before, what that was. Yeah, they used a taser on them. Or they shot it anyway. She didn't say, ah. Baby, there's a lot of action here.
Just a moment.
Boy, oh boy, she gonna have a story to tell on the prison yard, ain't she?
Sorry, just the computer's not being cooperative at the moment.
Shout out to M. Renee for making sure I came back to this.
From my end, it's showing you're not plugged.
Oh, yeah, I have to remove it. It's the, my laptop is just not wanting to cooperate at the moment.
I definitely think she got some meanness in her. She had already tried to beat up one of the nurses.
It's going to be 1 minute. I'm just going to try the old reset it.
Okay, Lady Steph, have a great afternoon.
What is that?
That's a diversionary device commonly referred idea.
All right, now, Sergeant Moore, we're looking here on the first body cam footage. What's the device on the pole right over there that's like kind of peeking into the room?
This is what we call a pole camera. So the little soda can shaped thing that's pointing towards the room is the camera. And you'll see that there's an iPad-like device that I'm watching to get eyes safely inside of the room.
All right, and does that device record, to your knowledge?
No.
And what's the purpose of having eyes in that room at all times?
To know where the threat is, to know where the weapon is, to have an idea of what's going on inside the room.
All right. What efforts were undertaken to have kind of eyes and ears in this room?
You was right about that being a camera. Okay.
This was the worst case scenario. This was pretty hard. We're 11 floors up. We're being told that if we go into that door, we're going to be shot. Attempted to deploy a drone to get a view from the outside. Something with the glass was too thick to be able to see through, and pilot error. I don't know, crashed it. That was the best and only way I could come up with to get a visual.
All right, and you described threats of being shot. Who was threatening to shoot you?
Ms. Gillard.
And this is now several hours later that we're looking at from when you initially responded. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, I would say I was there for probably 2-3 hours.
Now, during this time, so if we look in the left-hand corner of the screen, we see one of the SWAT operators. He's holding something in his hands, like a little canister. What is that?
That's a diversionary device commonly referred to as a flashbang. You can see that there's a little nipple at the top of it that tells me that that is armed.
And so what was the plan that you had developed and that was approved by command staff to make entry into this room?
So I don't want to put command staff out there. I want to say command staff, but my SWAT commander was aware of it. However, Ms. Gillard didn't want to put the gun down. Negotiators worked on her for hours, developed a plan to get her to write an apology letter, I believe it was, in which we were hoping that she would put the weapon down. Our goal was to end this peacefully, no more loss of life. Initially, you'll see me giving hand signals where the gun is. She was not wanting to put the gun down, attempting to write with the gun.
So let me slow you down. So the whole purpose of her writing.
Damn, so she kept the gun in her hand.
She put the gun down, use her hand and would do.
Correct.
And at that point in time, when she's doing this note, writing this note, initially she doesn't put the gun down.
Correct.
Wow.
Now, eventually we see you making other hand gestures throughout this video. What are you doing with those hand gestures, other than, as you described it, pointing where the gun was, and explain to the other operators where she's pointing currently?
So I'm communicating with the other side of the team. Everybody knows their plan, and I'm changing the plan as we go and or letting them know what I can see.
All right, Miss Aspirin, hey.
At that point in time, I was telling them, this is the threshold, this is the door, there's the bed with the body on it. She's on the other side of it, pointing the gun towards the door. And that's what I was trying to portray to the operators on the other side of the door.
And when you kind of give the signal for entry, what made you, or what prompted you to give that signal for entry?
She finally put the gun down.
So she put the gun down, like literally out of her hand.
All right, youngest, we're not gonna be here much longer.
Was going to write.
Thank y'all for coming.
Now, when we hear the flashbang be deployed, you hear that bang, but you also hear a second bang. What is that second bang?
She shot at us.
That shot went into the ceiling.
Oh, Lady Steph, you sure hit that on the head, girl. She did shoot at them. Damn, you sure right. She shot at them. I don't know if I don't know. I was just listening. So therefore, did they do the flashbang first or did she shoot first? Damn.
Correct.
So she had to pick the gun back up again and engage the officers as they made entry.
Correct.
Some people are going to say she shot in the ceiling. What's the big deal? Why is it a big deal to you?
Because I don't want to get shot. And also, yeah, So I'll try to explain it to you best I remember. She didn't shoot in the air. She shot the ceiling above us. We're not, now it may be a 4 or 5 feet difference between my head and the ceiling, but we're talking about inches from here to hitting the ceiling. And it wasn't a come out like this. It was, she grabbed the gun and came up.
So as soon as you guys make entry, she's ready to take an officer's life.
So the flashbang deployed, then we went in, then I saw the muzzle flash. It wasn't like it was all at once.
Damn.
Okay, so let me slow it down.
After the
You
flashbang,
explain
she
to us
still was
exactly
shooting.
how the chain of events occurred.
How it,
From the flashbang.
so the way it was supposed to occur was the flashbang was supposed to go off, the distractionary devices. I might get a little deep here, but there's a thing called the OODA loop. Everybody's going through it. Everybody's observing, orientating themselves to what's going on, making a decision, and then acting on that decision. Whether it's you, Your Honor, looking at me and what I'm saying, me talking to you, somebody that wants to shoot you. It's a constant loop. It's called a OODA loop. The point of the distractionary device is to interrupt that loop and start it back over. So when you don't know a flashbang or the distractionary device is coming and we deploy one, you now have to reorientate, decide, make a decision, and then act. We were trying to take advantage of that OODA loop with that big grenade launcher thing that you saw, which is a grenade launcher. It was loaded to fire non-lethal baton rounds, foam baton. And the point was while she was stuck in the OODA loop, we were going to shoot her in the shoulder with the foam baton to keep her off that gun. Try to make entry and get to her before she can grab the gun.
All right. And so flashbang goes, that works. Grenade launcher with the foam rounds. What happens with that?
It fails.
When that fails, what happens next in the room?
I had the grenade launcher pulled out. I pushed in with lethal force. She was holding the gun, after the rounds fired and everything, kind of like this. Not like this, but like this towards the body. I gave her a bunch of orders to drop the gun, wasn't complying at first. I ordered that grenade launcher back up, hoping that we remedied the issue. It failed again. Continued to give her orders. She eventually put the gun down. I just still didn't feel 100% sending my guys in and going in to grab her. She's ready to grab the gun once. Called for a taser. Upon taser deployment, tried to take advantage of that period of time, grab her.
All right. When does the shot get fired?
While I was standing in the door, because I saw the flash.
So you saw the muzzle flash.
Yes.
Was the barrel pointed in your direction?
Yes. Oh, I mean, I can tell you I saw the fire come out of the gun. So.
Okay, so you see it, and it's when you guys are making entry, she's trying to shoot the officers that are entering that room.
That was my impression.
Okay. It wasn't like she's holding the gun, the flashbang goes off, and she's startled by it and just shoots, right?
No, this isn't what we would call a sympathetic reaction. This wasn't, I'm holding the trigger, something goes off, and I go like this. This was, the gun was on the bed, flashbang goes off, she grabs the gun, round goes off.
Now, when we watch, you called for the less lethal again, which is that grenade launcher, and again, it fails, as you're describing. You and another officer, who's the other officer that stands in the doorway?
Officer Eddie Lee.
Now, at this point in time, I mean, I know you have body armor on and a helmet on, but you've exposed yourself to potentially being shot and killed at this point. When you step into that doorway.
Yes.
Why do you do that?
As a team leader, because I'd rather put myself in a position of that seriousness than to have one of my operators get shot.
So you put your life before, you put your operators' lives before yours.
Yeah.
Now, did you eventually, as we saw, made entry and were able to secure her and secure the firearm?
We were.
I'm going to approach what's been previously marked for identification as States Exhibit D and E. As you were describing, to the court just a few moments ago, she was being instructed to write a note. That would be states E here for identification.
I ain't laughing no more.
This
This
was a
got
note
real
that was kind of
serious.
being utilized by negotiator Ransom to get her to be distracted and place that firearm down. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, and then also recovered by Daytona Beach police officers in the room was a suicide. Do you recall that as well?
I did not recover it, but I know that it was recovered by the police department.
Your Honor, State asked us to previously marked for identification states D and E be entered into evidence.
Any objection? All right, they will both come in.
States D will be 3, and states E will be 4.
Now, when you're standing there in the doorway, you're vulnerable to being shot or killed at that point in time. How come you don't open fire on her, even though she's holding the gun? I know she's got it pointed down, but why do you not shoot?
We're not looking to shoot somebody. I didn't want to shoot you. I don't want to shoot anybody. I can't tell you why I didn't shoot. I've thought about it, and I'm glad I didn't kill you. I'm glad you didn't kill me. But I didn't shoot. That's all I can tell you. I didn't shoot.
Just a moment, Your Honor.
Damn, she lucky, huh?
Nothing further.
Morning, sir.
So prior to entering it, you testified that you throw what you call, I think, a flashbang grenade.
Yeah, they're commonly referred to as flashbang.
Okay, and the purpose of those is to I guess, disorient the person that is in the room. Is that fair to say?
I've heard it described that way. Again, the way I described it to you is the actual purpose of it, to start that loop over to, I guess distraction would be a good word, but it's just to restart that thought process.
Sure. The flashbang, when they go off, there's kind of a light. Is that fair to say?
So what we were using were called reloadable flashbangs. These aren't the old school ones that throw flames and do all that stuff. I'm gonna be honest, we set couches on fire by accident. This is not that. There might be a small flashlight, but it's not like you're thinking, if you're thinking of the old ones.
Would you agree that they, I guess, overwhelm the person's, I guess, vision and hearing? Like it's a loud bang.
No. So actually, that was one of the first things they taught us in flashbang instructor school. It's not like the movies where you're blind, you can't hear or anything like that. That's not the purpose or the ability of the device.
Would you agree it can cause confusion?
That's the point of the OODA loop, is trying to figure out what's going on to make a decision.
Okay. And my understanding is you threw the flashbang, and sometime after that is when the round went off that was fired by Ms. Gillard.
Yeah, I just want to be completely clear. I had it thrown. I did not throw it, but it was deployed into the room.
Correct. Someone on your team or somebody with SWAT.
Somebody with SWAT deployed it into the room, and then the round was fired.
Okay. And you talked about using foam bullets. So like, are they like non-lethal rounds? Is that what they're referred to as?
Non-lethal rounds. They're I think 30 millimeter. They're a lot bigger than a normal bullet.
Okay. And when you say they failed, like, do you know why they failed? Like, was she not hit by one?
So I think the first round went off, but if you watch the video, if we could watch the video again, you hear the click and he's trying, and he actually at the end says, "Damn it," and looks at it. Those rounds failed. Duds happen. I cannot tell you why it happened, because we took the same device, the same weapon system, and the same rounds out at the next training day, and they fired. So I do not know why that didn't fire.
Was the shot by Miss Gilland, was it after the flashbang and after the non-lethal round failed?
It was while it was failing, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It wasn't like that huge time where he's trying to get it to work. It wasn't after that point. It was during that time.
Okay. And while you were on scene, I think Ms. Gillen expressed multiple times that she wanted to
Okay,
take
so
her
this
own
is the
life.
last witness for the day, y'all.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not listening to the conversation. The hostage negotiators are in conversation with them. I'm in contact with my commander who's in contact with them. A couple of times I may have overheard what she was saying, but I'm really concentrated on what's going on with my guys. I do remember a few things of what she said, but not really the conversation.
And the round that went off, would you agree, based on the flashbang and the confusion that can create, Ms. Gillen could have been trying to take her own life at that point? And
No,
and went off
absolutely
the
not.
ceiling. You would
No, I
agree
do
with that?
not agree with that.
Okay. Just a moment, Judge. Nothing further. Thank you, Judge. Have a good night.
Thank you, sir.
No regret, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm glad that we came back to take another closer look at this sentencing hearing, right? You know, somewhere about the 30-minute mark it is still, I stopped taking it so lightly. You know, I am guilty of thinking it was funny because I'm looking at her as little old lady, little Miss Ellen. All she wanted to do was end her husband suffering, which all that may be true, but how many other people's lives she put in danger, right? I didn't think about the fact that she could have shot at her husband and shot at herself, blew up an oxygen tank, and took out 3 floors of the hospital, people, loved ones, right? I didn't think about that. What if she would have been pointing that gun at the security guard and telling him, "I'll blow your fucking brains out," and then accidentally hit the trigger, not really meaning to do it, but did it? You know? So, hey, stuff got to be taken seriously. I was thinking it's funny and I was feeling kind of sorry for her. I still feel sorry for her, but that prison time that she got is rightfully gotten, she earned that year in prison. All right, foot soldier. She could have actually got more. And as we just heard from the SWAT leader, he should have really took her out at that moment when she still had that gun. Now, I was wondering, quite honestly, when he said, "I didn't want to shoot you," I was wondering, was she saying, "Damn, that's what I wanted you to do"? Because remember, the pact with her husband was to do the mercy killing on her husband in that hospital, and then she was supposed to shoot herself, but then she got scared about shooting herself, So it's a good think piece. I thank you guys for joining me on both channels, Trial Watch with Demetri and demetralitALLday. I will be back tonight for Night Court on Trial Watch with Demetri. We are covering the young cop gone bad, Georgia versus Miles Bryant, who is being tried for the kidnapping and unaliving of a 60-year-old sophomore, Susanna Morales. So please make sure to tune in tonight to Trial Watch with Demetri. Thank you, guys. Hit the like on the way out, and if you hadn't done so yet, great live. And Renee say, "I never thought it was funny, and that's why she deserved more than a year in prison." Boom. Okay. See y'all tonight. Court is officially dismissed.
Thanks for watching. Do not forget click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Like, comment and share. See you next time.